Good evening. My name is Joel Surkey, and I'm doing a speech on the pros and cons of fighting in professional hockey. Um, the way I'll be determining the pros and cons, I'll be using the ethos, pathos, and logos. So, with that said, we're going to go over the pros and cons of fighting in hockey. Well, the one school of fighting in hockey is basically from the players themselves. Professional hockey players believe that in their sports, um, fighting is a necessity because you have big, really big, strong guys and really small, fast guys. And sometimes the really fast, small guys outskate the bigger guys and they score goals. And, obviously the bigger, stronger guys don't like this. So, in an attempt to nullify the speed and quickness of some of the smaller players, some of the bigger players, take opportunity to tee off of these players. You might have heard of checking and cross-checking. Those are things done in hockey from time to time to slow down play or, break things up, so to speak. Well, every so often, what will happen is one of these big guys will hit one of these little guys, and another big guy from the little guy's team will have to go out there and show the big guy from the other team, hey, leave the guy alone. If you mess with him, we're going to get retribution. You take a cheap shot at him, we're going to take a cheap shot at you, so to speak. And they believe that without this self-policing, that, more players would get hurt because you got the bigger players teeing off on the little players instead of the big players facing off toe-to-toe, which is what happens. It's not the little guy fighting the big guy bully style. It's a big guy tees off on a little guy, and then another big guy from the opposing team comes and says, hey, you just picked on my little guy. Hey, let's figure this out. Okay, so that's their take to it. The other take to it, I'm going to be using some research from the Mayo Clinic in Rochester. They did a study on brain concussions in hockey and the effects of fighting. And in their conclusion, they concluded that the effects of fighting far outweigh any benefit to the game that there can be. They noted that people that get concussions get lifelong laceration on their head that do not go away, and some of the physical impairments just outweigh any feasible sense that you could have that you would want to, co-sign fighting. Their feeling is like you have, so one of the comments that was made is you have grown men standing on skates punching each other in their heads. Stewart said, the frequency falls and helmets may come off, maybe their arms are pinned and the opponent falls on top of them, then their head hits the ice. Those forces acting on their brains are alarmingly high. So basically what he's getting at is that you got like some guy 250 pounds skating around. He gets hit by another guy 250 pounds. They both fall on the ground. What if one guy's arm gets tucked up behind the other? Aside from the broken arm, aside from the possible skate to the face, aside from the concussion he's going to get, these are all alarming things that, why would you attempt to do, why would you add on to that by allowing fighting in a game that, they feel it's unnecessary. Putting this together, as far as the pros and cons of fighting in hockey, I have to say that with the evidence that I was presented, the main fact that the Mayo Clinic said that there were things that could possibly happen, and since the implementations of new headgear and new rules mandating that you cannot remove your helmet in the game, and other safety issues, there's been a very high decline in injuries in the NHL. And with further research, I found out that most of their injuries in the NHL don't have anything to do with fighting. And from what the Hall of Famers say, I take their word for it, fighting does have a place in hockey. And that's my pros and cons speech. Thank you very much.